If you think weight loss means cutting out your favorite foods, you've been lied to. I lost 20 pounds eating dessert, pasta, pizza, and I'm gonna tell you exactly how I did it. These are 20 tips to help me lose 20 pounds while still eating my favorite foods and exactly how you can implement them in 2026. So let's get started, shall we? I track my calories nearly every single day for 4.5 months. And sure, there were a handful of days that I went over, but that consistency alone was how I was able to lose weight. I was constantly showing up in MyFitnessPal, like you would always catch me in that app. If you want to lose weight efficiently and effectively, tracking is the best way to do it. Like there's no guesswork. If you track accurately and you're consistent, you'll know exactly how long it's going to take you to lose the weight. Plus, you can fit all your favorite recipes into your daily diet as long as they fit into your macros. So use a calorie calculator, I'll link one below, to determine your maintenance calories and then subtract either between 300 to 500 from that, depending on how quickly you want to lose weight or what you think is sustainable. And then that's your calorie deficit, so just follow that. I have a more detailed video on this, which I'll link up here. I ate high volume meals to stay fuller for longer. Volume eating means eating a larger amount of food for a lower amount of calories, ideally high in protein and or fiber in order to keep you full. So basically all of the recipes that I have posted, they're all high volume meals, snacks, desserts. So I ate all of these in order to stay in my calorie deficit, and I still do eat my recipes every single day, obviously. By eating higher volume meals, you're gonna feel much more satisfied and full eating in a deficit versus eating like calorie dense foods all the time. As a rule of thumb, make sure most of your meals include fruits and vegetables in order to bulk up your meal for less calories, and use sugar-free sauces and syrups as well as low-fat dairy, or if you eat meat, like a leaner cut of meat. This might be a little controversial one, but I use caffeine to curb my appetite safely, like not in a toxic way. I don't mean like drink an iced coffee to replace your meal or something like that, obviously, but like a scoop of pre-workout, a coffee, or even like half an energy drink before your workout, if you work out early in the morning, can help you stick to your deficit. Basically, it'll help you curb your hunger until after you have to work out. Because like, let's say you work out at 7 in the morning and you're trying to stick to a calorie deficit. If you have to eat a meal before your workout, then it'll be harder to stick to your calories throughout the day, versus if you're a little bit hungry and have like a little bit of caffeine to curb your appetite, you can wait until after your workout to have the meal. If you eat your breakfast before your morning workout, you're gonna risk being hungry for lunch at like 9:30 in the morning, and we don't want that. I always meal prep, even though I work from home. Meal prep, meal prep, meal prep. If I didn't meal prep, I would find myself like reaching for a quick snack that's calorie dense and isn't gonna fill me up because I just didn't have anything else readily available. If I had a meal that I could warm up in a couple of minutes, it was way more convenient and allowed me to stay on track and eat a high protein meal in order to reach my goals. I'd highly recommend meal prepping at least breakfast and lunch, because I know, not everyone lives by their lonesome and some people have to cook for a family or your partner or whatever. So breakfast and lunch, honestly great just to have that readily available. I have tons of recipes on my page, so you can go take a look. And this way you can kind of like eat the same things day to day and not have to pre-plan your macros. Like you know what you're gonna eat that day and you know that it's gonna fit into your macros so you won't go over. I figured out a few hyper-fixation meals and I've stuck with them. So this is kind of playing off of the last point. Like you'll find a handful of breakfast, lunch, dinner snacks that taste great, fill you up, fit into your macros, and then just stick with them. Like just stick with those and put them into your rotation and do this until you get sick of them and have to pick new hyperfixations. Trust me, I found this to be way easier than like constantly trying new meals and then sometimes being disappointed or not being filled up enough, etc. Plus it's just way cheaper and like easier to plan. I took progress pictures to hold myself accountable. Now, a lot of my clients hate doing this and think it's a chore, but guys, trust me, you need to do more than just weigh yourself. Taking progress pictures caused me to stick to my goals because I wanted to see the changes month after month. Like basically I had a note in my calendar, I think it was like the second Thursday of every month, to take the progress pictures, so every 4 weeks. And I would look forward to like comparing the pictures and seeing progress. And I knew that if I didn't see even a little bit of progress after 4 weeks, that I would be disappointed and demotivated. I always tell my clients it's important to take progress pictures and or take measurements and not just take your weight on the scale, because sometimes the scale isn't gonna show changes, but your progress pictures will. especially if you're doing a body recomp and you're not necessarily looking to lose a bunch of body fat. I made plans with friends that didn't involve food, and I still do. You don't always have to grab drinks or dinner with friends to catch up. Like tonight, one of my friends and I are catching up over a walk, or you go to a workout class together, etc. You could even do something non-active, like go to a painting class or like paint at home, go to a pottery class, watch a trashy reality TV show together. Making plans with friends that didn't always involve food or alcohol allowed me to stick to my goals but still have a social life. I always had dessert all the time, but I was smart about it. You don't have to give up anything to reach your goals, including dessert. But obviously you can't be eating a tub of Ben & Jerry's every night. So I would do one of two things. If I thought I'm like, okay, I just need like a little sweet treat, then I would have one of my 100-calorie cookies, for example, just to like curb that. Or if I wanted something high volume, like if I was in the mood, I would have a tub of Ninja Creamy, because you can have an entire tub of that for high protein and within like 200 to 300 calories. It's a high volume dessert. This way, I wouldn't feel deprived. Like I could still enjoy dessert and all that, but then still stick to my goals. I limited alcohol, usually to once a week. Lots of creators on here will tell you to give up alcohol in order to lose weight, and I just don't believe in that. I personally think that this isn't true. You don't need to give it up in order to lose weight. You just need to be smart about it. You just gotta know when the juice is worth the squeeze. Like on a particular night out, is it gonna be worth it to drink or no? Also, work smarter, not harder. Like instead of a sugary cocktail, that's not gonna be a good bang for your buck, just have like a 100-calorie seltzer or like shot of vodka or tequila with a 0-calorie mixer or a light beer. I made eating fun, because eating and life is supposed to be fun. Some people are fine with eating like boring, bland meals, but if I tried to do that, I would just get tempted to order takeout instead. This is why I love making high protein, low calorie versions of comfort foods like pizza, pasta, dessert, etc. because it motivates you to cook at home and stick to that, and just like makes eating way more fun. Again, with the hyperfixation thing, if you can find like a handful of these recipes that I have on my page that you love and you can stick to, you'll be golden. At its core, I kept things simple. I never followed any of those like weird elimination diets like Whole30, keto, carnivore diet, or whatever, because it just overcomplicates what weight loss really is, which is burning more calories than you consume. You can lose weight without sacrificing your favorite foods, because if you go for one of those like weird carnivore diets or like whatever, they're just not going to be sustainable. And then once you stop that and go back to normal eating, you're going to end up gaining all the weight back. Not to mention you'll be really lame at parties because you won't be able to eat anything since it's not keto. I use calorie cycling. And what is calorie cycling, you ask? It means eating slightly less calories during the week in order to bank more calories for the weekend. Or if you're like a server, I guess doing the opposite, like eating less during the weekend to save more for Monday or Tuesday. Almost all my clients use this method, and I found it to be really effective because I found that on the weekends, I tend to like eat and drink more because I'm more social, whereas during the week, usually my schedule is more predictable. It allows you to adapt the calorie deficit to your lifestyle so you don't feel restricted. And I talk more about it in another video, so I'll link that here. I prioritize sleep. Simply, you can't eat while you're sleeping. No, seriously though, if your sleep schedule is messed up, your hunger cues will be too. I found that if I stayed up too late at night, I would end up feeling hungry and like wanting to snack. Or even last night, like I was having trouble falling asleep, and I woke up in the middle of the night and I like woke up starving because for whatever reason, I was like stressed or anxious and just couldn't have a good sleep. Getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night will help prevent increases in calorie intake and increases in appetite that can happen when you're sleep deprived. I figured out which meal times worked for me and I stuck with them. I need to eat dinner later in the evening, otherwise 1, I'll get hungry right before bed, and 2, I'll wake up in the morning before my workout and be famished, and then like won't be as motivated to work out if I eat dinner too early. So I eat dinner usually around like 8:30 p.m., which I know might sound crazy to people unless you live in like Spain or something, but that just works for me. I'd recommend trying to structure your meal times around what works best for you. Like, when are you hungriest typically during the day? What time are your workouts? When do you have time to like actually sit down and enjoy your meal? This might take some trial and error, but you'll figure it out. I use ChaptGPT. I know. Sorry if you're an AI hater, but ChaptGPT is like my lifeline. I use it for many other things that aren't fitness or food related, but I digress. Specifically, what I would do is take pictures of food at the restaurants or anytime really that I was eating food that wasn't cooked by me and I didn't know what the nutrition facts were, but I knew what the ingredients were roughly. I'll put an example on the screen, but basically I would just like put the picture in ChaptGPT, state the ingredients, and then ask for like an approximate estimate of the macros so I could track them in MyFitnessPal. Now it works best when you give ChaptGPT as much information as possible. Is it gonna be 100% accurate? No. But we gotta live our lives because a fitness journey is a lifestyle and not a quick fix. It's obviously harder to track your macros when you're eating foods where like you're not really certain what the nutrition facts were, even with the help of ChaptGPT. Even if you eat at like only chain restaurants that have nutrition facts posted online, like they're not always accurate, especially with the portion sizes sometimes being different. Anyway, when I was in a calorie deficit, I ended up eating mostly at home just so I could track with the utmost accuracy, but obviously you want to be able to like have a good time and live your life with friends. You just got to know when the juice is worth the squeeze, and you got to kind of pre-plan, okay, when am I eating out this week versus when am I able to eat at home? This is a weird one. I didn't waste calories, but I didn't need to. Like if you're drinking full fat Coca-Cola with calories in it, what are you doing? Like just drink diet soda. Like Coke Zero tastes the exact same as regular Coke in my opinion. Same goes with condiments like ketchup, barbecue sauce, etc. I would always get the low calorie versions, and I still do. Generally, you're not able to taste the difference that much, and these things make a massive difference in your calorie deficit. Same goes with using cooking spray versus oil. Like that makes a huge difference, and oil doesn't fill you up. This might be a controversial one, but sometimes I didn't take my leftovers home from the restaurant. Like let's say I ate an indulgent meal that night and the next day I wanted to get back on track and eat within my macros, would not have to fit that like high calorie meal in there. I would just tell the server to take the rest, or I would give it to a friend. Don't be afraid to waste food. Like don't be afraid to not clear your plate. And I know that we were taught the opposite as a child, a lot of us, but it'll hinder your ability to lose weight if you are constantly eating past the point of feeling full just because you're like, oh, I don't want to waste the food. I didn't keep tempting food in the house. Similar to the last point, like if someone gets you a box of cookies or like chocolate or something as a gift, you don't need to keep it around. Like you can gift it to someone else. Like if those are things that you simply can't control yourself around, throw them away or freeze them. I don't know. I personally wouldn't be able to keep like full fat baked goods in the house because I would just eat them all, which is why I make high protein, low calorie versions of those favorite desserts, and then I eat those. And finally, I didn't look at foods as good or bad. I can't stand it when people are like, cookies, bad. Pizza, bad. Salad, good. If you use my recipes to make high protein, low calorie versions of your favorite foods, you'll realize that anything can be made to fit into your macros. This allows you to be less restrictive and still enjoy the foods that you want. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then I'm sure you'll enjoy my next one, which goes over 5 tips that help me stop chronically overeating for good. And please be sure to give this a like, subscribe, and share it with your friends, as it really helps the channel. And I post new videos every week. And with that, I will see you guys next time. Bye.